Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 5, Internment. I'm your host, Dom. And with me, I have Miss Clio.
Hello.
I have John.
Hello.
And Angela.
Greetings.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you?
I was bummed to miss the last podcast because I had a lot to say about that episode, but this one turned out to be even better, so I'm glad to be here.
That's good. That's good. So, let me get your opinion real quick. Carol's exile.
Yeah.
Nay or yay?
I think it was necessary. I mean, I think it was necessary for both her protection, and Rick felt this is somebody he thought was not capable of that, and she probably surprised the shit out of him, but he also did say, people will be gunning for you. You have to. It was for her protection, too.
Right.
And she didn't even seem scared about it, which I was saying earlier. If you look at the Carol from the past and the Carol now, she's not even afraid. Like, she was totally confident in being. So that makes me respect her character a little bit more.
I have a question, though, for you about that. How do you feel that Rick is, after a very long time of making a decision, is now making a giant decision?
Yeah, big
for
one.
Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like him making decisions and taking charge, and I think that this decision was necessary. I mean, like, if she came back and people started finding out, there would have just been even more. Like, yeah, I think that it's for the best, but we were cut off before we could see what Daryl thought.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait to see what Daryl thinks.
We have to see this reaction because I don't want him to turn on Rick. They're buddies right now.
So, Ange, what did you think was going to be the reaction? When Rick went back, like, after, not even this week's episode, but last week since you weren't here, did you think Rick was going to tell the rest of the prison what really happened, or did you think he was going to say that she didn't make it?
No, I didn't think he was going to lie. I didn't think he was going to lie because she could very well find her way back, and then what happens?
So now, let me ask all of you, were you surprised when he walks in and tells Maggie straight up? He hesitated like he was going to lie, and I thought he was. But then he told Maggie the truth. What did you guys think about that?
I was more surprised at Maggie's reaction. I thought she was going to be very upset, but she was... I was more surprised by her saying, I agree.
I was relieved that Rick told the truth. I was like, thank you. We don't need another show with another pit of lies. And as far as Maggie's reaction, it was a little shocking, but I was like, yeah, you know what? You're allowed to have that opinion.
I think she was kind of like, yeah, okay, great. So anyway, everyone's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, go save Glenn.
He's hurt. Go over there. I don't know if she had a chance to really react.
Yeah, they did have a bit of a crisis mode there, and there were bigger things.
Yeah, they all seem a little preoccupied. Do you think the rest of the prisoners, I want to call them prisoners because they're living in a prison. Do you think the rest of the group is going to be as receptive as Maggie was?
Wasn't Carol like part of she was part of the council, yeah. And she was also like you saw her when we actually first came back into the season. She's like standing there in the middle of everything. She's like the people person. So I think that there's bound to be, but I mean, come on, how many of them have died, and what they're dealing with right now kind of eclipses that. So
I mean, the only thing is, like, they don't know Rick is a leader, a lot of them. They only know Rick is like the guy who was outside farming who needs his space, So I think they're probably going to find it a little weird that he kind of made this like big decision, and they're really just not used to that. They're used to like the council discussing things and making decisions that are, I guess, a more democratic way. Right. So that might be a little stirring to people, but that's going to be after the flu epidemic is over. I don't think they're going to give a shit right now.
Didn't you think it was kind of funny, like, well, not funny, but ironic when he goes out with his son and he picks like one of the pea pods off the plant?
I love that shot.
The camera's focused on his gun, and then it comes out and the depth of field changes to focus on the
Yeah.
peas, and he gives that
It's a
to his kid,
Beautiful summary.
to Carl.
That brought it back. It was something I think they said the episode before that, where was it Herschel? I don't remember. Somebody said to Rick, "You can't just be a farmer. You
That
can
was
be
Carol.
something and a farmer, but you can't
Carol
just."
said
Was
that.
it Carol?
Yes.
See, now it all comes back around.
I love
So-
that line so much. It's sort of like that's exactly what Rick has to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even
can't
though
be
he
just a
banished her,
farmer.
he's still kind of taking advice, and that was perfect, because you see the father-son bonding team of going out and slaughtering zombies
Oh,
with
that was
automatic
the
rifles.
best.
And then
that was the
they're-
best. Of
And
the
then they go
whole-
to the garden.
They're
I
two
love when
peas
they're
in a
like tossing
pod.
the
Yeah.
flip back and
Get it?
forth.
Give the Grimes boys some assault rifles, and they will level the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you one thing that's totally unrelated, but I still have to say it. The People's Choice Awards popped up recently, and they put like the best anti-hero category, and there's like Rick Grimes is in there, and they also put Jaime Lannister in there from Game of Thrones. And I'm thinking to myself, God, I would have voted for Jaime, but I just watched that episode where Rick he tore shit up.
Yeah.
So I had to vote for him. He's
Who
awesome.
won?
I don't know yet. They're
Oh.
still voting. So if
Oh.
you like either show, you should go vote. It's I had
Vote Rick
fun going
Grimes.
through them.
Get on
Rick
it,
Grimes
Internet.
kicks
Rick
ass
Grimes, 2013.
Yeah.
for president for Rick
So-
Tater.
So
Rick Tater.
we know Herschel is on the council. We said, Carol is on the council. But Herschel just starts in the middle of waiting on all these people, like he's tending to the sick and everything. And he goes, we need to have a council meeting right now. We need Spaghetti Tuesday and Wednesday. But first we have to find some spaghetti.
That was
So-
adorable.
Yeah, it was
I
like
love
I
Herschel.
started cracking up. So Herschel seems to have like this very light sense of humor, something that we didn't really see out of him before. He had this like very realistic point of view, and now he's lightening up a bit. Do you think this is because he hasn't at that point hasn't had to kill anyone yet? It's been a long time,
Well,
and he just seemed everybody else was doing it. He didn't have to get his hands dirty.
He did, though, a long time ago. I was just watching an old Herschel episode where he left the farm and they had to go seek him out in the bar.
Right.
And he actually shot. He shot to kill there.
Right.
But he did it out of necessity. So I think he's capable. And he even said, like, Rick passed him a gun in that old episode. And Rick's like, do you... And then he says, I know how to shoot. I just prefer not to. And that's just the kind of guy he's... Herschel... I love him. He kicks ass in this episode, and I felt so bad for him at the end because he did things that he would have otherwise not preferred to do, but he's like the hero of all these people who are sick. Who else would have gone in there, really, and put IVs and administered medicine and tea? Like, who would have done that?
Yeah.
No.
He's so awesome.
Yeah. If he wasn't
it's
there,
just been a while since he's killed anybody, so that's why I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe that's what lightened him up a bit.
Well,
he's got a
he's-
different outlook on things now.
He definitely changed, but I don't see him as being like before when he left and he said he just abandoned all hope. He said there's no hope. He's not that anymore. I don't think he's ever gonna be like that again.
So do you guys think his persistence is the reason why the sick kept fighting this whole time instead of just giving up?
yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
He
Go ahead,
kept
sorry.
fighting. Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, going back a little bit, like I don't know. I mean, I think it was just being lighthearted just to raise everyone's spirits too. I mean, you can't really neglect that fact. Because he also knows that people in despair who are deathly ill are more likely to die. It's like a scientifically proven thing. Like if your spirits are better and you have hope, that you do have a better chance to live. So he's also very cognizant of that, and he's telling people drink your tea, and he's being like a little parent over there.
Making
So-
jokes.
Yeah.
He's just doing everything he can to get people's spirits up and get them at least vaguely healthy enough to last till medicine gets there. So
Yeah, and you think that's
Smart
why
guy.
he was bringing people out to kill them away from the group so they didn't all have to
Yeah.
witness that as well? Is that
Oh,
is
yeah.
that helping keeping morale
Yeah.
up?
definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was sort of more so that you don't incite a panic. So people don't know people are dying, then there's even more hope that you'll live through it.
Yeah, I could see
Maybe
that.
just to keep the deaths a secret from everyone until medicine got there.
Yeah. You this episode, all of a sudden, everybody, like, it seems like they're fine, they're okay. Then slowly you start seeing they're deteriorating, they're bleeding out of their eyes, they're coughing up blood, and then it just all goes to shit. Like, really quickly. Like, there was no warning. It's just everybody in the entire complex is like a zombie now.
Yeah.
It's like
They all started
the
being
sick.
symptomatic at the same time, though, did they not? So
Right, but
Yeah.
you would think that
what's got
people's
me even
immune systems and different things like that would kick in and like almost waterfall over and not just all at once.
well, what's got me even more curious
At once.
is Carl was talking to Rick and saying, I haven't gotten it. I was exposed just like you were. Why, we haven't gotten it. So chances are if we haven't, then we're not going to. What about Herschel got coughed in his face? He blood spatter in his face. So I think there's like some weird reason why some people are sick and some people are not. I think there's something to that.
I also think that was a time thing because Herschel got coughed on nearly a day after everyone started showing symptoms.
Yeah, that could be also.
But he still has no symptoms.
Yeah, but what she's saying is what if it's not something that's spread from person to person, but time-wise, like if the governor had any hand to do in this and he administered something to a particular barrel of water, let's say it was a particular barrel of water that those people all consumed in this time period, and you had to consume that water to get sick, then that's why they're all sick. So it's interesting, and it makes me think like where I know at some point it'll come out.
Well, we had patient 0, which was wasn't Zach, who was, I don't remember his name.
The dude from episode 1 with the glasses.
And then he ended up coughing into the whole water supply.
Yeah,
But
he did.
They made sure of it. So how do we know the governor didn't infect him directly?
He's not patient 0.
Then who is?
Because remember, before what's-his-face got sick,
The pig got sick.
Rick saw a zombie outside the fence who had the same blood. When they were at the the veterinary college, there were zombies with the same blood flowing from their eyes. It's not new with the prison group. I think that's been circulating for a while.
Right.
And it's just hit them now.
Right.
So maybe the governor spread it to them.
I think we're all just being really paranoid.
I mean, he did
and
show
putting
up.
too much faith in the
we can't not
We're giving
address
him
the
too
pink
much
elephant in
credit.
the room. He
we're
showed
giving
up
too
at the
much credit.
end of the episode. Like, that was like the biggest thing all season so far. The governor's just standing there in the bushes and he just kind of looks around and blinks at us or winks.
you
I don't
see
know
the
which one it was.
Winks.
He winked with his
sneak peek for
patch
next
dye.
episode?
I did. He's just sitting by a
It's just him
campfire
sitting at a fire.
and the zombie just falls into the fire.
That's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens with him. I did not read the comics, so I don't really know what to follow, but it's gonna be awesome now that he's back in town looking to stir some stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be hell of a time.
Alright, so do you think Glenn is going to make it? Not do
Yes!
you want
Yes.
Glenn to make it. Do you think he's going to make it?
He has to make it.
I think if they were gonna kill him, they would have by now.
I would have done it in that episode if they were gonna kill
They
him.
gave us a scare, they're like, oh, look how much blood he's coughing up, and I was worried for him for a few minutes. But then when they have him, like, oh, he's breathing on his own, and at the end of the episode, that he's pretty much stable. They say he's stable.
How do you know we're not going to nurse him back to health and get him all so we care and we let
So he
our
can
guards
eaten by a
down and then
zombie?
he just gets destroyed like an episode later?
Honestly,
Just gets shot in the face.
just based on the writing, I think if we're looking at the Glenn Maggie duo, I think it would be more heart-wrenching and probably more likely for the writers to off Maggie and have Glenn survive. I think that's more probable. Just in my
See, the way they set it up was right from episode 1 that Maggie wants a child, Glenn doesn't. So I could see Maggie getting pregnant and then Glenn getting offed.
And
Not that Glenn doesn't, because Glenn bought the camera.
Right.
He was looking at, frames for babies.
Oh, I think he totally would. In a non-post-apocalyptic
Y-
world.
Yeah, exactly. But then there is still that, it would be really nice to have a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, little Glenn.
Now, did you guys watch The Talking
Mini
Dead
Glenn.
this week?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Did
most
you-
of it.
Did you see the guy from MythBusters was on there, and he was talking about the strength of zombies and
Yes.
Yeah.
Strength of a horde.
a horde of zombies, and like how easy it was for them to push a barn down.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine he even said, yeah, using tree limbs to like brace a
Well-
fence, worst idea.
I have to speak up for Toady here. Toad Fist, who we would love to be on the show because he points out all of the flaws in the show, which I think is a good, a good way to look at things because he points things out that I didn't even notice. But he's watching it and he's like getting angry that they're putting these things up and like,
Yeah,
why
it's-
are we? You have so many vehicles, drive one in front of the fence. Or my thing was, why not just throw some gasoline down and just cook them?
Yeah, that's a
I
good
don't know.
idea.
Lure
But
them
it was
away,
because-
lop their heads off. Like,
It was because they
I think it
had
was
to
even
break
said on
through for the
Talk-
show.
well, yeah, it was even said on Talking Dead, dig a trench. They can't climb.
Dig a trench.
Seriously.
Oh, they should build
also
moats.
I also think that it's not just they can't get rid of the zombies, it's that more keep coming.
Right.
They are they're out there on the fence killing them every day and more
Oh, that
keep
mega
coming,
horde.
which me being paranoid that this season is set up, I think might be the governor's doing. I think
Well,
it's all his fault. Everything's his fault. I'm paranoid.
Everything's his fault.
It's all the governor, all day,
The
every day.
outbreak in the first place was his fault.
I mean, the thing is, like, it seems feasible that he could be leading them over to the prison. I mean, that seems totally, he would totally do that.
Do you
The
think
other
the
thing about-
mega horde is his doing?
I don't know.
No, that's just,
That huge, like the one
He
when they were
could've-
going for the medicine.
Yeah.
It's.
I think that might just be
a chance. I mean, that just might
Normal.
be. But
He could have rounded them all up and headed them toward the prison. We don't
that'd be
know.
hard. He couldn't do it.
I
The
mean,
governor
there's too
can do
many.
anything.
He gets on the
They're-
back of
they-
his dragon.
at the supermart, weren't they all like in a fence area there? Right? So how do we know he wasn't just luring zombies into a fence and storing them there and then let them
Well,
all out at once?
We know
but
he has
done it
he has
before.
the know-how. He's done it before. He used
Right.
to use them for entertainment, so he has
He
the
has the
ability.
knowledge to
He's unleashed-
capture them and store them.
Yeah.
But
He's unleashed zombies on the prison before.
yes the zombie
wait a minute.
zombie
Wait a
mobile.
minute, guys. There's a fucking 10,000 zombies there. He did not round them up. You're out of your goddamn minds. There's no way in hell.
He could have
Think about it.
he could have
No,
found
he
them.
can't.
No, he could have found within that fence area. There could have been already maybe 100 or so in there
Okay,
in the
yeah,
supermarket,
Yeah,
and then
in
he
that
just
fence.
added
But
to
if
it a
you're
little
talking
bit.
about- yeah, but if you're talking about that horde that they ran into on the road to the veterinary hospital, you're out of your minds. He did not do that.
That's
No.
the mega horde.
No. I mean,
I
he
wouldn't put
would,
it past him.
as good as he is. Now, look, as good as he is, as much as he knows what he's doing, he has no help, and he is one man. It is way too easy to get surrounded by that many zombies. I mean, he's not stupid. He's crazy,
Well,
but he's not stupid.
I do think that seeing all that, I do think that they should find a new place and soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prison's not looking too safe anymore.
I mean, they would have to
Not only
hole
do
up
you-
in one cell block and just they're gonna have
Well,
to
it's not
find.
that. You have the governor already knows where you are, so why would
Yeah,
you stay
and the
there with him
governor.
on the loose? Now that other shady
They're
guy
assuming
knows where they
safety in
are.
numbers.
Shady guy?
Yeah, the shady guy from like 2 weeks ago.
Shady guy.
Remember Carol and Rick?
One who cut off his girlfriend's leg?
Yeah, he knows
Oh.
where they are.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
He
he
cut
does.
off his girlfriend's leg.
Yeah.
Well-
I thought her leg was.
No, that was a clean cut.
Yeah. Zombies kind of done that.
No.
See, I'm stupid. I looked at it and I'm just like, oh, why would he have? Did he do that to get away from the zombies?
Maybe.
I think
We don't know.
Probably.
Selfishly.
He could have lopped her leg off, tried to help her across the street while they were distracted with the leg, and then just threw her there.
Oh,
How do you
here,
my
have my
Don't worry,
girlfriend's
baby. I'll
leg.
distract the zombies with your leg.
See,
That's
Honey,
a great
I have a
idea.
brilliant scheme. Now hear me out.
there was. Did you guys ever play Magic the Gathering?
Oh, I love
I
it.
do.
There was back when I was playing, there was a brand new expansion, and there was like I forget what it was called, but it was like jungle themed, right? And the one of the advertisements for it was a cheetah, and I specifically remember because the advertisement said, "You and your friend are being chased by said cheetah. What do you do to escape?" And the answer was, "Trip your friend." It just stuck with me forever because it's true.
Yeah.
If you can't run as fast as your friend and you are willing to survive, you trip him. You're guaranteed out. It may be cruel, it may be mean, but when you are at the brink of survival, you're going to do anything it takes to survive.
Well, I'm gonna avoid you in the case of a zombie apocalypse.
Or a cheetah on the loose.
Or a cheetah, yeah.
Or a loose
Avoid
cheetah.
cheetahs.
Why does that sound like a sex pun? Loose cheetah.
I'm saying as a last resort. You know, I'm not going to... The first thing I'm going to do is just trip you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure down.
Right into the bus.
So do you think Herschel's going to make it?
I sure hope so.
Me too.
I
I
don't
think
think he's gonna
Herschel's
make-
one of those that is, if anything happened to Herschel, like, because he's one of those people who is like a staple. He's got medical knowledge. He's got the ability to be like this beacon of hope. And I think he's just like the glue. And if I'm going to be really upset. There's a couple characters that I think I could live and persist through
Glenn?
their demise. But he's one of those that I don't think they can kill.
Glenn?
Oh.
They might. Well, Glenn, my heart would be eternally broken because from the first time we saw Glenn, he was like this, we've seen Glenn become... What's that?
It's a badass little guy.
Yeah. I think that it would break the hearts of millions and billions, but I think that they're capable of killing Glenn. I don't want to jinx anything. I certainly hope that I'm wrong.
I think Herschel's going to go. And whether or not he works at Staples, no, I'm only kidding. Anyway, he got blood in his eye, and I'm sorry, but the way viruses work is that you get it after that. Like he's whether or not he's showing symptoms, I think he's running himself ragged, caring for everybody. So,
well, Maggie licked Glenn's face.
No, yeah, I mean she's vulnerable too. But I mean he's been. I think I feel like it would almost be like a martyrdom for him to die in this way. Like once everybody's safe for him to pass, I wouldn't be unlikely in my eyes.
Yeah, for sure. He seems... I don't know if he actually has given up hope, but he's fronting for everybody, because you see when he went down to read the Bible verse at the end, he starts reading it, and then he just fuck this, and just starts crying.
Yeah.
He can't even finish,
Well, he didn't say fuck this. He just everything hit him.
I'm saying that's his internal monologue.
Yeah, what he did. Well,
Positive his internal monologue's not fuck this.
that was intense, and it just hit it. It hit him.
Okay, maybe that's Carl's internal monologue.
That's stupid.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that was just him. I mean, he's been so hopeful and so bright and just his beautiful presence in the face of such darkness that, he eventually had to kind of just give himself a break from that. He really just had to deal with what he was feeling. I mean...
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
I mean, yeah, it's... I'm glad that he did, because he couldn't keep being so strong for everybody.
Right.
He needs a break.
Get him a Kit Kat bar.
Yeah.
So, the other thing that I thought was kind of interesting was very, very beginning of the episode. We see Rick driving down the road, and there's a bunch of dogs gnawing away on a zombie.
Yeah.
Are they immune to the virus?
Maybe.
We haven't seen any This was a question in earlier seasons. So we haven't seen any zombie animals. So this seems to be just a human thing. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't think that
because
dogs would be interested in rotten flesh.
Well, they walked away from it.
Yeah, but they weren't eating it.
They ran off when the car came by. They
Oh,
were
that's
eating
true.
it up
Yeah,
until
yeah.
that point.
They were. I mean, it's a dog. I mean, they're hungry enough. They'll eat anything.
Right.
So I'm not super surprised. It'd be like them eating rotten meat out of a garbage can, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you're that hungry.
Yeah.
well, dogs
So-
are
Yeah, and that zombie was still
omnivores. They
alive,
can-
right?
Yeah,
They
the
can eat
zombie was
vegetables
still
too.
definitely
That was
still alive.
moving.
Which is a little rude.
I mean, the zombie's always going to be moving, so not like they have a choice.
Yeah.
So I don't know, cause that leads me to believe that maybe the pig getting sick was a coincidence, cause it's not a zombie, unless the sickness has absolutely nothing to do with zombieism.
It doesn't.
Probably.
It's
I
a
think
flu.
so.
It's not the zombie. The zombie virus seems to be something different.
So it's a swine flu.
And this is just a super flu.
Maybe that was what they were insinuating. I mean, I know that humans shouldn't be able to pass their disease or their like a flu onto an animal, but I think that the origin of like the first swine flu, that whole outbreak that they make movies about, that was from a pig.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm
Then you
Like,
need to
I
start
think it would
worrying
be
about
cool.
mosquito bites. Can
I think
mosquitoes
it-
contract the zombie virus and give it to people?
they can transmit because they like spit blood
Yeah.
into you.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen any zombie animals, so that's evidence towards that the animals can't get the zombie virus.
Yay! I
Yeah,
love animals.
apparently. So that leaves plenty more meat for us to eat.
For you to eat.
Oh, real quick, Indy, right
Yes.
down there, right down there,
Yes.
Bulbasaur.
No!
Bulbasaur's a plant.
We're not having this discussion.
Can you eat
On a
Bulbasaur as a
Walking Dead
vegetarian?
Oh.
Okay, you've already asked me this when we weren't on. You asked me before. If it's a plant, even if it has a persona and a name, it's a plant. So yes,
Can't
but
hurt him.
I wouldn't eat
It's
him.
an animal. It's a Pokemon. It's not a plant.
Nope, he's a plant.
But if he's technically
He's a plant.
He's a plant type Pokemon. He is not himself a plant.
He's a
well,
plant.
like the plants in Plants vs Zombies, they have little personas. I wouldn't eat them, but you could wanted to. You really wanted to.
Aha.
Yes.
Oh, you could plant and make
No.
more.
Yes. No.
So what is the bottom half?
You can brutally mutilate him in order to eat him, but you can't eat his body. I get it, John. Good job.
Eh. I'm sorry, Bulbasaur. I love you so much.
Arthas is gonna come
as you're chewing.
with Frostmourne.
Chewing. So what do you think the governor's up to outside of the camp? He's just
I
sitting
don't
there
know.
watching. He's lurking.
He's up to no good.
Just jerking off.
Probably. Do you
I
see what he
wouldn't put it
did to
past him.
Maggie? That man is, well, Andrea, the only woman who did really give him the time of day that we saw,
God
killed
damn.
her.
Yeah.
And now something itches on him, and he can't seem to explain why.
It's the STD from Shane. Means Rick's got it too.
The governor's got a whole new plague to spread. Different kind of plague.
Yeah.
Kind
So
of small. Bite
next
your crotch.
episode, next episode is called Live Bait. What do you think this has to do with the governor?
I think he's gonna try to lure someone out.
Or maybe we're finally gonna find out who's feeding the live rats to the zombies.
You know
Yeah,
what I just
the
thought of?
mole. Let's find out who the
What?
little traitor is.
I bet it might be that stupid kid who ditched his girlfriend. He might run into the governor and be like, "Hey, you're kind of dumb and impressionable. Go!"
Oh,
Well, we already saw someone feeding the zombies through the fence on the
Pretty
inside
dumb.
way before we met that guy. So
This is probably Lizzie.
you think
The little
it's
girl
Lizzie?
who called them by their names.
Yeah, that was probably Lizzie. If I had
Very
to
well
guess.
could be. I mean,
I
She
can't think of
seems
who
like
else would have done it.
she stood up to the zombies. She was like fearless until it fell on her.
What if it was
Then
Carol?
she had like nightmares.
Yeah, well, yeah, she was brave. I mean, she still is. She doesn't seem to be okay enough to try to
Cleo-
kill them.
Cleo's camera's gone.
I think she popped offline for a sec,
Oh.
so she just came back. But like, I mean, she was brave enough to be like, come on, buddy. But still a little too naive to just take the knife and, so
Yeah.
she's still got a little bit to learn.
That she does. Well, the synopsis for next week's episode says, group members struggle to find their humanity while being constantly threatened. It's a very in-depth, deep synopsis.
Yes.
It sounds like an overview
Beautiful
for the
writing.
whole series
Beautiful.
and not for a single episode. So,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
So vague.
Looks like she's gone. Completely gone.
Yeah. Well,
Now you guys are on. Let me see if I can get her back into the call. If not, you guys have any last words?
Last words. Next episode, we're finally going to get to see what Daryl's reaction is to Carol being gone. And that, to me,
my God.
I just want to see if he flips out on Rick because I want them to be bros. I don't want them to hate each other. Daryl and Rick need to love each other.
Yeah, but once Daryl finds out, he's not going to be happy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but I wonder because Tyrese would have probably done something not nice. I don't know.
Tyrese is also going to be not happy.
Yeah, so
He
nobody's
would've
going to be
wanted
happy
to
with
just-
Rick.
Maybe
No one's
Tyrese is
gonna
gonna
be
start forming a hunting party to go find Carol.
And
Choke the bitch
Michonne
out.
is going to... Oh, there's another thing. The man that she's been searching for is right outside now.
Yeah.
Maybe she's the live bait. Maybe he lures her and then uses her to get Rick out because Rick now cares about her and stuff, and maybe
Could
she's the
be.
live bait.
Could be.
Too many
Yeah.
possibilities. So vague, but I love it because I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's going to be very exciting.
My dog's snoring. Sorry.
I don't hear him snoring. So, Clio, got anything? Any final thoughts?
No, I'm just... Paranoia is asserting itself.
It's officially settling in now that the governor has shown his ugly mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Clio, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, most social media at Cliomoto, CLIOMOTO, and you can find me on YouTube at LIOSMFVIDS.
John, where can the people find you?
you can find me on Twitter at No More No More. And if you're wondering, it's an Aerosmith song.
I thought it was like backwards for Om Nom Nom.
No. It's a very good Aerosmith song.
Angela, where can the people find you?
I am on Twitch, on YouTube, and Twitter at IndieGarona, INDIEGARONA.
You can find me on Twitter at Phenomenodom,
Phenomenodom.
PHENOMEDOM. Lost my train of thought there. Phenomenodom. And you can find us. You can find us all on both Facebook and YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts or some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week. See you guys later.
We out, bitch.
Rawr.
Phenomenodom.
Do, 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 do.